Let's be real for a second. That moment when you're about to speak a new language, it can be pretty scary, right? Your mind just goes totally blank and you start worrying about every single little mistake. If that sounds like you, then trust me, you are in the perfect place. Because here's the thing that so many people miss. The goal isn't to sound like you swallowed a grammar book. Not at all. In the beginning, the only thing that really matters is just getting your point across. Simple communication. That's it. And the secret to doing that, it's all about taking small, totally manageable steps, day after day. So today we're gonna break down exactly what those steps are, and we're starting with the one that matters most. Okay, so before we even think about learning a single word, we've gotta get our mindset right. See, confidence isn't something that shows up after you've learned everything. Nope, it's the foundation you have to build on from day one. I really want you to let this sink in. Every single time you make a mistake, it is not a failure. Think of it as a receipt. It's proof that you're trying, that you're pushing yourself, that you're actually learning. So you got to embrace them. Now, here's a really powerful little trick to help with that nervous feeling. Before you start to practice, just try this with me. Take a nice, deep breath in for about 4 seconds. Now hold it for just 2, and slowly breathe out for another 4. Right as you finish breathing out, just say a simple sentence out loud, like, I can do this. It's amazing how this one little exercise can physically calm you down and get you focused. All right, mindset is in a good place. Let's talk about the words. But listen, we are not just going to crack open a dictionary and start from page 1. We're going to be way, way smarter than that. You know, you don't actually need thousands and thousands of words to have a real conversation. Nope. It turns out a core group of just about 100 of the most common words can handle a huge chunk of everyday chats. That feels doable, doesn't it? Just 100. And the absolute best way to learn these words is by grouping them together. It's a technique called chunking. So instead of a random list, you learn words in categories, like food or travel or action words. So when you learn bus, you also learn ticket and train. Your brain starts to build connections between them. And believe me, it makes it so much easier to remember the right word when you actually need it. Now, as you're learning these words, you've got to pay really close attention to the sounds. I mean, a tiny difference can change the entire meaning of a word. Just listen to this. Ship versus sheep. Hear that? The short I and the long E. Focusing on little differences like that right from the start is going to make you so much easier for people to understand. Okay, so you've got some words under your belt. Now for the fun part, actually putting them to work. This is where you stop just knowing words and you start communicating with them. We're going to build some simple but really powerful sentences. This right here. This is your first and most important script. Seriously, memorize this 5-step template. It gives you everything you need to introduce yourself without even thinking about it. Think of it as your own personal conversation starter. And here's what it looks like in the real world. Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm from Mumbai. I'm a student. I love painting. Nice to meet you. See how smooth and simple that is? In just a few seconds, Sarah has started a great conversation. You can do this right now. Just pop in your own info. But a conversation isn't a monologue, right? It's a two-way street. After you introduce yourself, you need to ask about them. And this is where a special kind of question, called a WH question, is going to be your absolute best friend. These 6 little words are basically the keys to unlocking any conversation. What, where, when, who, why, and how. They are your toolkit for being curious. Learning how to use these is what takes you from just talking at someone to actually talking with them. So we've covered what to learn, but that's really only half the story. Now we need to talk about how you practice, so all these words and phrases actually stick around in your brain for the long haul. This is such a game-changing idea. You can forget about trying to study for hours and hours once a week. It doesn't work. The goal is so much simpler. 10 new words practiced for just 10 minutes every single day. That small, consistent effort, that's what builds real momentum. And here's how you make that 10 minutes of practice super effective. It's called spaced repetition. Don't just look at a new word once and forget it. You review it the next day. Then you review it again a few days later, and then maybe a week after that. This schedule basically sends a signal to your brain saying, hey, this is important. You need to save this. And please, whatever you do, do not just memorize lists of words. This is maybe the most important rule of all. When you learn a new word, you have to immediately use it in a short sentence that actually means something to you. That's what turns it from just a random piece of data into a real tool that you can actually use. Okay, deep breath. We have the right mindset. We have our first words. We have our sentence patterns. And we have a practice plan. Now, it's time to put it all together and actually start a real conversation. You know, every single great conversation starts with a simple hello. These phrases are how you open the door. They're polite, everyone understands them, and they work in pretty much any situation. Practice saying them out loud until they feel totally automatic. And once that door is open, you use these simple questions to keep things moving. Notice how these are the perfect partners to the self-introduction we learned? You say your part, then you ask them theirs. It's like a dance. You share, you ask. That's a conversation. So if you forget everything else we talked about, please just remember these 3 things. Number 1, aim for confidence, not perfection. Number 2, focus on just 10 useful new words a day. And number 3, practice for just 10 minutes, but do it every single day. That is the winning formula. And that really brings us to the most important part of all of this. Knowing this stuff is great, but it's useless if you don't act on it. So I'm going to leave you with a challenge. Don't wait until tomorrow. Think of one thing you learned here, make a simple sentence, and say it out loud, right now.